His method is brutal. His weapon is the beat. And his latest tracks are about to blow your mind. If he likes the way you move, he decides the way you dance.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ferry Corsten. This is Corsten's Countdown.
Yo, welcome to Corsten's Countdown 409 with me, Ferry Corsten. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Corsten's Countdown is a chart show where you are in control of the music, because right after this show, you can vote for your favorite track of this episode via corstenscountdown.com. As you know, your vote is very important, and you will help to decide which 3 tracks I'm going to play again next week in the Corsten's Countdown Top 3. So don't forget it, your vote does count.
Last week's Corsten's Countdown Top 3.
Before we start with the show, it's time first for a quick overview of the Corsten's Countdown Top 3 of last week.
3.
At number 3 last week, the Airbase remix of Hope by Arty.
2.
At number 2, Destiny by Markus Schulz featuring Delacy.
1.
And we had a new number 1 last week, and that was Flying Kitten, a new track by Bobina. And do we find that one at number 1 again? Or do we have a new number 1 this week? Well, make sure you stay tuned, because at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you exactly which tracks made it into this week's Corsten's Countdown Top 3. As always, I've selected lots of great new tracks for you for this week's show. In the next hour, you can listen to new music from Andrew Beyer. I have a new track from Markus Schulz for you guys. And later in the show, I'm also going to play a new collab between Relocate and Robert Nickson. This week's listener's choice is a track from 1999 from a Finnish producer. The track still gets lots of attention on the internet, especially earlier this month. If you have any idea which track I'm talking about, well, make sure you stay tuned, because in about 40 minutes, you will hear this week's listener's choice. If you use Twitter, then please don't forget to follow and use the hashtag Corsten's Countdown during the show, so you can stay up to date about everything regarding Corsten's Countdown. Alright, it's time for the music. We kick off the show with a new remix from the Andain classic Beautiful Things. Out soon via Black Hole Recordings, this is the Kastis, Torrau and Donatello remix.
There's no stopping him. Corsten's Countdown. Are you ready to dance? Dance.
So many
is what you've been waiting for. It will take more than just the skills. He knows the score. He brings you the latest and the best. Corsten's Countdown.
Out soon via Enhanced Recordings, this was Dreams of Maya, a track by LTN and Anushka Desai. Up next, Do Android's Dream Part 2. And that is a new track from the hands of Mr. Andrew Beyer.
Always on the beat, there's no stopping him. Let the music carry you. Bring that beat back. Corsten's Countdown. DJ who operates above the law, above the law, above the law.
just heard a new track from Terry da Libra. This was Onirikon. Next one up, This Generation. And that's a new track from Markus Schulz. And that one will be out soon via Coldharbour Recordings.
Hi, this is Markus Schulz, and you are listening to my new track on Corsten's Countdown.
Please don't forget to vote for your favorite track of this show via corstenscountdown.com. Your vote is very important and you can help to decide which tracks will make it into the weekly Corsten's Countdown Top 3. You just heard City 21, a new track by Zack, Shaar. You're listening to Corsten's Countdown 409 with me, Ferry Corsten. This Friday, I'm in Sao Paulo in Brazil for Tomorrowland Brazil. I'm playing there at my own full-on stage alongside Cosmic Gate, Ali and Fila, Andrew Rayel, Mike Push, Heatbeat and Danilo Ercole. And on Saturday I'm off to the USA and there you can see and hear me at Club Space in Miami. I hope to see you all there. Please make sure to check out ferrycorsten.com for more info about me, all my tour dates and everything regarding Corsten's Countdown. And of course, very important, the free weekly Corsten's Countdown podcast. Up next, Hope by Arty, but then remixed by Faruk Sabanci. And that one will be out soon via Flashover Trance.
This is what you've been waiting for. It will take more than just the skills. He knows the score. He brings you the latest and the best. Corsten's Countdown. Corsten's Countdown.
just heard Vivid, a collaboration between Dutch producers Relocate and Robert Nickson. Alright, it's time for the listener choice of this week. And this week we go back to the year 1999. In that year, Ville Virtanen, aka Darude, released his track Sandstorm. A track that still gets a lot of hype on the internet, especially after the great April Fool's joke on YouTube earlier this month. So it obviously gets requested a lot as well, so I just had to play it here. This week's listener's choice got requested via Facebook by Mario Hell from Manchester in the UK, Simon Marks from Denver in the USA, and also by AJ Brown from Canada. Here it is, this week's listener's choice, Darude and Sandstorm.
Corsten's Countdown, listener's choice. Corsten's Countdown, your number one dance show.
Alright, it's time to announce the results of last week's voting. This is the Corsten's Countdown Top 3. At number 3 this week, the Orange Theme by Duderstadt.
3.
Just heard this week's number 2, Beat Service and On Demand.
It's time to vote right now.
Alright guys, the voting for this week's show is open now. You can now vote for your favorite track of this episode via CorstensCountdown.com. And of course you can also vote via the Ferry Corsten app, which you can download for free via ferrycorsten.com/app. Alright, it's time to announce this week's number 1, and we have a new number 1 again this week. The track that received the most votes from you guys is the EDU remix of Origami by Dimension. Congrats guys! Alright, thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to vote, and until next week, later!
1. is Corsten's Countdown.